Okay. So we'll come to, let's kind of lie down. So we'll kind of take a cooling beginning part of our practice. So you can lie on your back. If you want to prop anything under your legs, you can do that. And make sure that if you're lying on your mat, if it's on a hard surface, you can even maybe spread out a blanket because we're going to be down for a while. So making sure the back of the body is comfortable lying down. And then once you settle, maybe just kind of move around a little bit and then letting your body come to stillness. And closing your eyes. If the room is bright, maybe bringing something over your eyes, like your scarf if you're using a scarf, or your eye pillow. And just beginning to, I'm going to sit up, but you'll stay laying down. So just beginning to feel this transition. So we're starting to connect in with the body and connect in with the breath. And just letting the sound of the bell be a symbol of this pivoting from awareness to whatever you've been doing today, and maybe engagement with the outer world, to engagement with and connection to what's happening on a personal level inside. So as we know, they're both connected, but for now we just set aside what's happening in the outer environment. We don't forget about it, but we just temporarily pause our engagement. And then we start to connect in with what's currently alive in the heart, in the body, and also in the mind. Good, bringing your palms together, palm to palm in front of your heart. And if you'd like, you can set an intention for your practice. So this might be something for yourself, maybe a quality you'd like to cultivate this evening. It could also be for someone else or for a group of people. And just take your time. Sometimes our intention is clear in the beginning, sometimes it emerges later, sometimes it's just a feeling or an image. And when you're ready, lift your hands up, touch your forehead, acknowledging and honoring your own inner guide. And then exhale, releasing the arms and the hands down. So we're going to stay on our backs. If you have any props under the knees, or if you're using any props at all, let's just move them off to the side. And then when you're ready, you'll bend the knees, bring your feet down, and then step your feet out nice and wide, so there's a lot of space there between your feet. And just reconnect with the breath here for a moment, so that nice wave-like rhythm in and out. Just taking your time. So the connection with the breath helps to anchor our attention. So giving the thinking mind a rest. Just coming into the body, coming into sensation. Good, and then we're going to bring both hands to rest anywhere on your belly, so somewhere on your abdominal area. And then just noticing once the hands are resting here, there's a different awareness on the breath because you can feel the breath physically. So the belly expands as you inhale and contracts down as you exhale. Letting it be simple, just noticing the breath. Everything else dissolves. And if it's not stressful at all, see if you can slightly deepen the breath cycle. So don't push that, just open up to that deeper breath. Good, then keep the hands on the belly, this nice full and deep breath cycle, and we'll start to rock the knees gently side to side. So feet stay wide here, so both knees will drop over in one direction and then up and over in the other direction. Just kind of a side to side movement. And you'll feel with the hands on the belly, the hands kind of slide a little bit there as the belly moves. So when the mind is active, our attention is up higher in the body. So if we drop the attention down into the belly and into the feet, that can slow down the activity of the mind. Good, couple more cycles, just this easy rocking there, back and forth, just starting to warm up through the hips and through the low back. Just use very little effort, just back and forth. Good, and then coming back to center and taking a breath, just noticing the after effect. And then let's step the feet in hip width apart now so that you can kind of feel the feet. You don't need to see them, but just feel them from the inside so they're about parallel. And then keep one hand on your belly and then slide the other hand under the back of the body. So your palm's going to be down on the mat. The back of the hand is on your lower back, your lumbar spine area. So both elbows are bent to find that. So one hand over your belly, other hand on your low back. Reconnect with the breath. So holding the center of your body. So we have our physical organs of digestion there. We also have kind of the seat of our emotional digestion. It lives in the belly as well. And then we're going to start to rock the pelvis as you breathe in this position. So you'll feel that also through the hands. So as you inhale, see if you can rock your pelvis down. So your pubic bone moves towards your heel. So you come into a little back bend. You're going to feel your low back lift. And then as you exhale, rock your pelvis back. So you're going to press your low back down into the hand that's under the back of the body. So your tailbone will lift up. And then inhale, pubic bone down, come into that little back bend. The belly will expand. And then exhale, contract navel in as you press the low back down. So it's a small movement, just rocking your pelvis forward as you inhale and back as you exhale. And we'll do maybe 2 or 3 more rounds like that. So listening to your body, so even though practice is slow and gentle this evening, you can always modify a movement if it doesn't feel right for you or skip something. Good, last round, we feel that rippling all the way up the spine. Great, and then coming back to neutral and just slide the hands out. And reach your arms wide on the floor so your palms are up. And then we're going to extend our legs out and then bring your legs wide. So it's like you're lying down and you're sort of spreading out. So we trust the body's wisdom. Just like you watch an animal when it's warm out, it's going to get low to the ground and sort of spread out. So just taking a few deep cooling breaths there. And if you do feel overheated, you can always exhale through a pursed lips, like you're blowing out a candle. So that's a Sitali pranayama exercise. So you inhale through the nose and then exhale through pursed lips, blowing out through the mouth. So you can try that if you like, or just breathe naturally if you're not feeling hot. Good, a few more breaths. Great, then keep your legs wide like this. Completely relax your legs. So breathe all the way down into your feet. So feel like your legs are heavy, feeling the earth under the back of the body. And then we're gonna float the arms up as you inhale. Interlace your fingers, just move slowly, turn the palms toward the ceiling and just press up. So the rest of the body is relaxed. We're just reaching the arms up, fingers interlaced. Good, now next inhale, reach your arms overhead. So they might come down part way or maybe all the way to the floor. So a little bit more active, stretching into the sides of the body. If your shoulders don't like that, just keep your arms lifted straight up. Good, one more breath. And if the arms are overhead, inhale, floating them back up. And then exhale, release the hands and letting the arms float back down by your sides. Come back to quiet. Good, and then we're gonna bend the knees again. Bring your feet down, hip width apart. Next exhale, gather the knees in toward your chest. You can reach down with your arms and hands and just gently pull in, just starting to wake up your low back. So forward bending is cooling for the body. Back bends are heating and twists are more neutral, kind of right between the two. And then bring the hands right on top of your kneecaps. Just make a few circles with your knees in space, just kind of tracing around the outer rim of your sacrum. Letting your spine be so relaxed, you feel that movement all the way up into the neck, into the head. So we're getting the cerebral spinal fluid moving, which is creates balance in the brain, and then other direction there with your circle. Good, relax your face, relax your jaw, a couple more circles. Good, and then release the hands from the knees, drop your knees back down, relaxing your arms. So again, the feet are about hip width apart, just some space between the feet. And then we're going to be opening and closing the legs with the breath, and then we'll hold eventually, but we're just kind of warming up here. So as you inhale, let the knees fall open. So you roll onto the outer edges of your feet. Your feet are wide. And then as you exhale, the knees come open. And then as you inhale, the knees lift up. So you roll back onto the soles of the feet. So just like that. So inhale, the knees drop open. Exhale, the knees lift back up. A few more like that. So we're rolling on the feet toward the outer edges, the knees fall away, and then we roll back onto the soles of the feet and the knees lift up. So see if you can feel that movement for your hips as well as that massage for the soles of your feet. Good. Let's do one more. And then next time you inhale, the knees come up. And then now we're going to join the soles of the feet and the knees will drop open. And we're going to be here for a few minutes. So this is our first yin pose, so deeper stretch. So if you want, you can always bring cushions under your outer knees. So this will, you'll still stretch the hips, but you can have some support just if you need. And you might want to place something back over your eyes as we kind of settle in here. So if you're not using cushions, sometimes it gets more intense the longer we hold. So I don't want you to feel any strain at all. So you can always come out, take a moment, and maybe use some props or just come back in. So just because a a pose is gentle does not mean it doesn't go deep into the body. And some days it's easier to be present than other days, depending on what's going on. So if you're feeling pretty spacious and peaceful, just relaxing into the shape. If your mind is still kind of jumping around, you can choose one area of the body to focus your attention on. So light concentration, and breathe into that area. So that will help keep the mind here. And if you're breathing into one area of the body, just making sure that we don't create a story about where you're connecting or have a judgment about it. We're just feeling. So letting it be a somatic, a body experience. So I'm going to take about 3 or 4 more breath cycles. You can always come out sooner if you need. Good, last breath. And then next inhale, if you're still in the hip stretch, let's come up with the knees coming out of that opening there, bringing your feet down. And then just step your feet out now as wide as your mat and drop your knees together. So this is an internal rotation of your upper legs. So feet wide, knees together. Great, and then we're gonna extend our legs out. Bring your legs wide like we did before. And then flex your feet and just roll your feet in and out a few times. So kind of a loose rocking movement. And just rolling in, rolling out. So as the feet move, that's going to translate all the way up your legs. Good, and then coming back to stillness. Good, so we're going to rebend just the left knee. Sweep your right leg straight out. And we're going to come into a twist and hold. So you might want to grab your cushion again or your yoga bolster and bring it off to the right side of your mat. So left knee is bent, right leg is long, and maybe bring a prop over to the right. You can also roll up a blanket if you don't have a pillow that's firm enough. And then next exhale, just reach down, pull your left knee in toward the left shoulder. So first part, we're just going to stretch the hamstring muscles for a moment. So left knee toward the left shoulder. You can pull in with one or both hands. Good, and then next exhale, we'll guide that left knee across the body toward the right. So you can gently pull it with the right hand. And then you can bring your prop under the inner left knee, or you can stack a couple pillows if you need. And then try to reach your left arm straight out and drop your left shoulder down. And you can also tuck a little pillow under that left shoulder if you want more support for the front of the shoulder in that stretch. So just set yourself up. This is another one we'll be in for a couple minutes, so make sure it's gentle and supported. So it's not an extreme twist. Nice even breath. As we come back to quiet, again, you can choose to bring your attention to one part of the body, anywhere that you'd like to connect. If your mind is active and you want to stay rooted here in the moment. Good. A few more breaths. So sometimes when we start to unwind the physical body, we can have maybe a strong emotion sort of bubble up or a memory come to the surface. And that's natural. That's part of the kind of discharging element of our practice. So just letting it sort of pass through. You can always revisit it after. Good. One more breath. And then when you're ready to inhale, we're going to unwind. So just slowly come onto your back, and you can rest how you like, maybe both legs out or both knees bent. And coming back to neutral with the spine. Just a moment to integrate. Okay, so we're going to take that sequence on the other side. So first bring your right knee in toward the right shoulder. You can just gently pull in, so kind of waking up the hamstring muscles there. Massaging the organs of digestion. And the liver is on the right side. Great. And then grab your prop if you know you want to use support on this side. One side might be quite different too than the other. And then we'll come into that twist as you exhale. So guide the right knee over with the left hand, and then maybe arrange your prop under the inner right knee. A couple cushions if this is your more challenging side. So again, we're in a supported twist, and it's not so extreme that it's hard to breathe. So I want to be able to fully surrender in. Letting all efforting go. And choosing this open awareness, or you can connect and focus in on one part of the body if you'd like. So breathing into that place. So during our day, our attention is wide. So we're taking in different kind of stimuli, doing multiple things at once sometimes. And here we're actually doing the opposite. We're condensing our attention into one point. So we're taking our senses that engage with the outer world and we're inverting them. A few more breaths. Make sure the jaw is relaxed. If you have a tendency to unconsciously clench your jaw, just part your teeth slightly. Good. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then as you inhale, we'll unwind, just coming back onto your back, resting how you like, legs out or knees bent. Just feeling the echo of that last twist. Good. And then we're going to come off our backs, but we're just going to simply roll over onto our belly. So we're going to stay down, but we'll just flip sides. So you can bend your knees and just slowly roll to keep your head heavy. Use as little effort as you can and just turn over so that you're lying now down on your belly, on your chest with your legs back. And just feeling and sensing this different orientation. So we have pressure now on the front of the body rather than the back of the body. Good, and then we're going to bring the hands right under your shoulders. So fingertips point forward, elbows point back. So this is a slightly more active sequence, so you can skip it if you want to stay more passive, or you can just take the movement but keep it small. So press down through the tops of your feet just gently. Inhale, start to roll your spine up, so you can just lift up a couple inches. That's enough to engage the back of the body. If you want to go higher, you can go a little bit higher. So coming into your back bend. And then as you exhale, just slowly roll and round back down. So we're moving with the breath. So I'd like to do 3 or 4 cycles here. So inhale, lifting up, maybe press at the top with your hands. Exhale, rolling down. So try to lead with your heart. So the center of your heart is going to reach forward as you lift into your back bend. So there should be no sense of compression in your low back. So we're bending, but we're still reaching the chest toward the front, so there's some space. Good. And then let's take 1 more if you're still going. Great. And then next time you exhale, just coming back down, relaxing the whole body. And then we're going to bend the right knee, so just the right leg. And then just tune into that right foot, so it's kind of hovering there in space. And we're going to take the right foot and circle it around. So just choose one direction that's going to circle into your knee and into your hip. Yeah. So your whole lower leg is moving. Good. And then other direction, usually one direction's a little more challenging, so try the other side. Bringing that healthy fluid into the hip joint. Again, as we move the body, we discharge energetically as well. Anything that's in our space that we don't want or need, just let it go. Good, and then back to center. Now slide the right knee nice and wide, all the way out. The knee is going to stay bent. Drop the right foot down toward the floor. So it's like you're in a tree pose, but you're lying down. And the right foot is probably not going to touch the left leg. That's fine. So it just drops to the floor. So right knee is bent just straight out to the side. And the weight of the body is enough. So as we surrender, you'll feel, maybe some of you may feel a deep opening, others it's going to be gentle through that inner right hip and inseam of the upper right leg. Coming back to your breath. So when we slow down the rhythm of the breath, we slow down the rhythm of the nervous system, and sometimes it also can feel like time starts to slow down. Good, 2 more breaths. Great. So if you're still in the hip stretch, we'll come out, lift your right foot, slide the right knee and right upper leg in, and just relax the whole leg down. Put us back to center. Good. I'm going to do the other side. So you can walk your left leg and foot a little bit farther out. Bend your left knee so your foot comes up, and now circle your left lower leg and foot around. So easy movement. And this side might be smoother than the other side, or maybe it's kind of a little bit more challenging. There's some rough parts in there. And then other direction. And you might also feel how that moves into your sacrum, so kind of rocking the pelvis a little bit. Good, and then back to center. And then from this place, slide your left knee even farther out, and then drop your left foot down, so you're relaxing the whole inner leg down with your left knee bent. Just feeling this opening for the inner left hip. And you might need to shift around a little bit until you find that sweet spot there. So see if you can feel the breath in the back of your rib cage. So often we breathe into the belly or the heart, but here feel the movement in your upper back area. So the ribs lift up and widen as you inhale. And then there's a little kind of compression in and down as you exhale through the whole rib cage. See if you can soften your eyes and the muscles under the eyes, the optic nerves. And a couple more breaths. Good, and then next inhale, let's float that left foot back up. Just slide the left knee back in, relaxing the whole leg down. Just a breath or two, feeling the after effect. Good, and then we're gonna bring the hands under the shoulders and we'll press up into table. So just keep your knees down, lifting your hips. So up to hands and knees. So the first time we really come off the floor, so just take a moment to kind of acclimate. You can spread your fingers nice and wide. And then we'll take a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, coming into a back bend. So opening the front of the body, lifting the heart. And then as you exhale, round the spine, open the back of the body and drop the head. So we're in this quieter practice, so not using too much energy, just flowing with the breath. You can feel the movement of your shoulder blades. So shoulder blades move in toward each other as you back bend. And then they slide away from each other as you round the spine. So we're kind of waking up your upper back area. Sort of the roots of the neck, back and forth. Good. Good, last one. And then we'll come back to center. So just look down, taking a breath. And I'd like to come into a shoulder stretch. This is more of a yin pose, so deeper stretch. You can take it where you like. So bring your elbows down, bring your palms together. And then you're gonna walk your knees back a couple steps, lift your hands up, and drop your chest down until you feel that stretching your upper back. And it's different than child's pose, so the hips stay over the knees. Yeah, looks like you, those of you I can see, looks like you've got it. Good, Melissa. And then if it's too intense, come out, take a little break, come back in, otherwise we'll sustain for a few more breaths. So see if you can feel the lift of your collarbone. So as the chest comes down, the collarbones lift up. Good, last breath. And then coming up as you inhale. So lift your heart and re-extend your arms. So coming back to your table. Taking a breath there. So we're gonna come into child's pose. This is another restorative pose, and we'll take it with some support. So I've got bolster, you can use that if you have one. If you don't have a bolster and you've got some throw pillows, gather a few, so you've got support. The knees can come wide, you can sit back, and then you'll bring your support under your chest. You can also sit on something. So if bending your knees like that does not feel right, maybe take a cushion and sit on it, and more cushions under your chest. So you can, we're all at home, you probably got lots of pillows, so go for it if you want to use multiple pillows. And then once you find your way into the child's pose, decide what's best for your neck. So looking down might feel fine. If that doesn't feel right, maybe turn your head to one side. And I'm going to give you the cue when we're at the halfway point. So you can just release the knee to track time, and at that point you'll turn your head. So every asana, every shape has a kind of a signature physical and energetic blueprint. So kind of notice how this pose makes you feel. Give yourself permission to move and adjust. Just do so mindfully. You're going to bring some softness to the place between the eyebrows, like you're kind of smoothing out the forehead. So we're relaxing the front part of the brain. So that's the part of the brain that likes to plan and kind of analyze things. Great. So if your head is turned, we're at the halfway point, so you can just slowly pick your head up and turn the gaze in the other direction. And just using that light concentration if you need it. So it's always there for you. If you find the thoughts start to pick back up again, just coming back to choosing an area of the body to connect with and breathe into that place. Good. Last few breaths. Great. And if the head is turned, bringing the chin back to center for a moment. So realign the back of your neck. And then we're going to slowly come up and out as you inhale. So just lifting up to table. Don't rearrange things yet. Just come up and pause and center. And then if you can keep your cushions where they are, keep them where they are. Just extend your left leg back so your toes are tucked. And just press your heel back, opening up through that left knee. And you'll feel a stretch there for the left calf, lower leg. Good, dropping that left knee, and we'll just switch sides. So right leg back, tucking your toes, press the heel back. So there's some resistance there. Great, and then dropping that right knee, and now you can just take your cushions off if they're in the way. And we're gonna take just a stretch for the shoulder real quick here, and then we're gonna come back down. So right hand is gonna stay down, that's your foundation. Bring your left hand to your hip, and then as you exhale, just turn to the left and try to loop your left shoulder back. So keep it easy and gentle. And if you want, you can extend your left arm, just feeling some opening for the front of your shoulder into your chest. Good, and then release that left arm and hand down. And we'll do the other side. So right hand on your hip, and just turn to the right. Try to bring that right shoulder back. And wherever you want to look for the neck is fine. So sometimes looking down feels the best, or just to the side. And then you can stay here, kind of bringing the front of that right shoulder back, or you can extend the right arm as long as that doesn't create any strain. Good, and then release that top arm and hand down, back to table. So to close, I like to come into, if possible, a supported inversion. So I've got my wall here. So I can bring my legs up the wall with cushions under my hips. You can also use a chair. You can just bring your legs over the seat of a chair or your couch. You don't need a cushion under the hips unless you want some lift there. So it's optional. You can have your hips down and your legs up, or having something under your pelvis. So if you have a wall to use, great. Again, you can just drape your legs over the seat of the couch or over a soft chair. So we're coming into supported inversion. So we don't want to have to hold our legs up at all. How's this working for everyone? Yeah, good. And then just make sure that the arms are away from the sides of the body so you can kind of relax through the chest. Closing your eyes. And then now release all control over the breath. So sometimes mostly we deepen the breath and smooth it out, but here we're just letting the breath do its thing. So this position is said to gently stimulate the pituitary, so the gland that's in between the eyebrows. So we have that physical gland, and then also we have the third eye area. So this is said to be the seat of our inner knowing. So that's different than the activity of the intellectual mind. It can work in synergy with the intellectual mind, but it's more of our intuitive knowing. So stay for a few more breaths. Make sure that you're still comfortable. If you need to come out, just roll out. So this is also a great position, legs up, for any swelling in the legs. It also gets the lymphatic system moving. Great. So if you're still in your inversion, let's take a few breaths to transition out. So if you're at the wall, you can bend your knees and just rolling over. If you're next to your couch or your chair, maybe slide out first and then roll over. Coming onto your side, take a breath or two on your side. Great, and then we're gonna move right into our Shavasana, so our final rest on our backs. So just like we started class, you'll lie down, grabbing whatever you'd like there. And if you're not too hot and you want to, you can bring maybe a cushion over your belly. Sometimes it's nice to have some weight in the center of the body, kind of ground things. We can bring, again, something over your eyes if you'd like. So Shavasana is sometimes called corpse pose in English. And it's a reminder of the temporary temple of our body. And just like we are not ultimately our physical form, we're also not ultimately our emotions or our thoughts. So connecting in with that which is beyond those three, whatever that means for you. So last minute here, I'm going to read some words, just a short passage from Martin Luther King Jr. So he said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that."